want to talk about fear. I don't really want to talk about it, but fear is a kind of prison. And something that I think we all struggle with, but I can say I do. We get spooked in this life. And we create walls. We create walls, yeah. We try to defend out of fear. But those walls become a prison cell, you know. The walls that we create around us keep us in prison. I've got a lot of fears. One of the things they don't tell you about the path in the sales pitch about pursuing God, allowing God into your life, allowing truth into your life, is that you have to face your fears. I've always had, not always, but for quite a while, I mean, looking back to when I was really young, been run by fear, you know. Anxiety has just been a heavy burden in my life, heavy weight. And yeah, and I'm sad to say it still is. I've been asking God to show the truth to me, show me where I'm hurting, show me how to heal. And it's just, man, it's just a lot of fear, just a ton of fear, a lot of fear. It's kind of vulnerable to say, but body dysmorphia is something I've struggled with for a lot of my life. And it's when you're afraid, what you do is you hide often. And you get sick when you hide. You know, I never liked many things about my physical appearance, about my body. Still don't. Still don't. That's tough. That's like a really tough thing. It's intolerable in certain ways because it's something you can't really change. You can change it in certain ways, but you're changing it out of fear, you're changing it out of fear, basically. When I was young, not that young, like 18, 19, maybe younger, I got very just fixated, obsessed about losing my hair. And, uh, and I ended out just so miserable, so miserable, so many ways, but I ended up convincing a doctor. Oh, I don't really remember how it happened, but I ended up getting, I think, Propecia, prescription for Propecia. So I already felt like my hair was getting thinner than I wanted it to be. I was like, I don't want to be 25 and be bald. And so I just, I started taking these pills. And it's like it's a temporary relief in a sense. You feel like you've done something that can help your situation, and but there's a cost, you know. I didn't want anybody to know I was taking the pills, so there's a little bit of hiding right there. And you haven't really healed anything. You've just kind of addressed something at a surface level. Because the fact of the matter is, there's people who are bald who are very happy and at peace. And I remember I started dating somebody. It was like first really kind of like long-term relationship. This was at college. I don't think I told her. Can't remember exactly what happened, but this friend at the time came into my dorm room. Somebody, man, it's just bad because it's you're leading a double life. Even something like that, you just feel, you're hiding. You're leading a double life. And I had the pills somewhere, and this guy, he found the pills, but I don't think they were marked. And he was like, "Whoa, what are these, man?" I could be misremembering. This is so so long ago, but pretty sure I just lied. I didn't say what it was, but man, it felt really bad because that was just something I just intuitively knew I couldn't be honest with this guy about, which, lots of times you have friendships that it's like you create a character, you're hiding, so you create a character out of self-protection, out of wounding, whatever it is. And then you go about life and you get into relationships and stuff, And there's a quality of distrust in all those relationships because you're not being honest with yourself. And that sucks, man. That's really hard. Because then those relationships tend to be kind of superficial and you can get into this kind of self reinforcing cycle where you get further and further from contact with your spirit. The people around you are relating to a mask, you know? So you start to buy into that until you get too sick. The mask becomes too heavy. Something like that. I don't want to overly dramatize it for some reason, but the dynamic is something like that. And so shortly after that, I stopped taking those pills. I just was like, man, I can't do this. And I guess I just accepted, like, if it means I go bald, I go bald. Now I'm much older now, and I still have some hair on top. I feel like knocking on wood. And that's kind of funny how that works out, right? Do I wish it was thicker? Yes. Do I wish my hairline was different? I do. It's so funny.